In this video, you'll learn the most useful Brazilian Portuguese shopping phrases that you need to know when going shopping in Brazil. And although we're going to be focusing today on clothes shopping, most of these Brazilian Portuguese shopping phrases are actually useful for any kind of shopping situation in Brazil. Olá pessoal, welcome back to the channel. My name is Fernando from Fun with Brazilian Portuguese. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell so that you never miss new videos that are going to help you learn Brazilian Portuguese. So in my last video, I've covered 63 items of clothing and accessories in Brazilian Portuguese. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure you do. We're going to be using some of that vocabulary in today's video, but we're going to focus today on the actual phrases that you need to know when going shopping in Brazil. So let's start with to do shopping. To do shopping in Brazilian Portuguese is fazer compras. We've got the verb fazer, which is to make or to do, and then we've got the noun compras. To buy, to purchase is comprar. So don't get them mixed up. Fazer compras, to shop or to do shopping. Comprar, to buy, to purchase. To ask how much something costs, quanto custa, and then the name of the item of clothing. For example, quanto custa essa camiseta? Repeat after me. Quanto custa essa camiseta? You can also ask how much something is using the verb ser. Quanto é essa camiseta? You can also use the verb estar. Quanto está essa camiseta? But very often we're going to shorten the verb estar. In this case, the conjugation with the third person singular is está. We're going to shorten to just está. So repeat after me. Quanto tá essa camiseta? The difference between the verb ser and the verb estar in this situation is that if you say quanto é, it means how much something is, implying that that's the actual price of that thing. It's unlikely to change. With the verb estar, like always, the verb estar implies something that it might be temporary or likely to change. So that would be like saying in English, how much is this now at the moment, implying that it might change in the future. It's up to you if you say quanto é or quanto tá. It doesn't make any real difference in meaning. So we have, repeat after me, let's practice our pronunciation one more time. Quanto custa essa camiseta? Quanto é essa camiseta? Quanto tá essa camiseta? So quanto é essa camiseta? Essa, it means this. And we're saying essa because camiseta is a feminine noun. For masculine nouns, we're going to use ESSE. For example, boné is a baseball cap. If you watched my last video, you should know that. Quanto é esse boné? Now, if you've been studying Portuguese for a while, you probably know that there's also ESTA and este. The difference is that grammatically speaking, when you are, for example, holding the item that you are referring to, you should say esta or este. If the item of clothing or something that you are referring to is closer to the person you are talking to, you should say essa or esse. But the reality is that Brazilians tend to say essa and esse regardless of whether the item is close to them or close to the person they are talking to. They will tend to say essa or esse. It's not grammatically correct to say quanto é essa camisa if you're holding that t-shirt. not grammatically correct, but it sounds natural. That's what most Brazilians would actually say. If you want to be 100% grammatically correct, then yes, if you are near the item you're referring to, you then say ESTA or ESTE. But I'm sticking with ESSA here because it's just what sounds more natural, what most Brazilians would say. If you're asking about the price of something that is further away from you and the sales system, if you're pointing at it and saying, how much is that t-shirt over there? Then the demonstrative pronoun that you need to use is AQUELA with feminine nouns. So repeat after me. Quanto é aquela camiseta? For masculine nouns, quanto é aquele boné? Now let's suppose that you don't remember the name of the item you want to buy, or you don't know the name of the thing that you want to buy. In English we can say, how much is this? In Brazil you can say, repeat after me, quanto é isso? So isso means this thing, and it works for both masculine and feminine nouns. It doesn't matter, it's just that word, it means this thing. Quanto é isso? If the thing that you are referring to is further away from you and the sales system, you're just pointing at it and saying, how much is that? That will be aquilo. Quanto é aquilo? Now let's talk about size of clothing. Tamanho means size. Be careful with the NH there, tamanho. We have small, pequeno. On the label, it's likely you'll see a P. If you see a P, that means pequeno, and it's pronounced P. You can ask, very common for people to just ask the size, to talk about the size of clothing by saying the initial letter. So in this case, it will be P. If you ask for PP, that's extra small. Médio, medium. M, large is grande, and it's G, the first letter. So, and that's what you're likely to see on the labels. And then GG, if you see GG on the label, that means extra large. The word for shop is loja. Clothes shop, loja de roupas. Shoe shop, loja de sapatos. Accessories shop, loja de acessórios. So as you can see here, when you want to specify the type of shop, you need to use the preposition de. When you go into a shop in Brazil, it's likely you'll be approached by the sales assistant. If you want to say, I'm just looking, I'm just browsing, you can say, só tô olhando, obrigado. If you're a woman, you say obrigada. One more time, só tô olhando, obrigado. We've got the word só, only, just. Tô is the short version of estou, I am. Olhando is the gerund of the verb olhar, which is look. Now, looking for, I'm looking for something, that's a different verb. That's not the verb olhar, it's the verb procurar. So you're going to say, tô procurando, and then the item you're looking for. In this example, uma camiseta branca. So the full sentence, repeat after me, tô procurando uma camiseta branca. If you're looking for something that is a masculine noun, instead of uma, you're going to say Vestido, dress. Again, if you watched my last video, you should know that dress is vestido. I'm looking for a black dress. Tô procurando vestido preto. To ask if you can try it on, two ways. Posso experimentar? Or posso provar? It doesn't matter which one you use. These two verbs mean to try, experimentar, and provar. And you've got posso, that's the verb poder, with eu, can I, posso. Now to ask where the fitting room or the changing room is you've got two different ways of asking where something is that doesn't change places, a fixed place, the location of something. You can use onde é or onde fica. And the fitting room is provador. So, Onde é o provador? Onde fica o provador? The verb ficar means to stay. I've got a video on that as well, on the different meanings of the verb ficar. We also use the verb ficar when we are referring to the location of something. Some other phrases here. Do you have a smaller size? Você tem tamanho menor? Do you have a bigger size? Você tem tamanho maior? Menor, smaller, don't say mais pequeno. Maior, bigger, don't say mais grande. These are quite common mistakes for students of Brazilian Portuguese to make. If you want to ask if they have their item of clothing in another color, você tem uma outra cor? Now you liked the item, you've tried it on, you liked it, you want to buy it, you can say gostei, vou levar. The verb gostar here is used in the past tense, very common for Brazilians to say I liked it, eu gostei. When giving an opinion on the spot, we use the past tense, while in English we use the present tense, I like it. I'm going to take it, verb levar, to take with you, obviously implying that you are going to pay, you're not just going to walk away with it, but the verb levar is to take from one place to another. Vou levar. I don't like it, I'll leave it. Não gostei, vou deixar. The verb deixar means to leave. So one more time, repeat after me. Não gostei, vou deixar. To ask if you can pay by credit card. Posso pagar com cartão de crédito? Now these two questions here, can I help, or debit or credit, are not going to be said by you, but by the sales assistant. When you walk into a shop, it's very common for you to hear the sales assistant saying, posso ajudar? Can I help? Verbo ajudar, to help. Another phrase that is very common is, pois não? Some people get confused by this one because there's a word no there, não. But it actually means, yes, can I help you? It comes from an old-fashioned long sentence that is something like, why wouldn't I be able to help you? Or why wouldn't I want to help you? It got reduced to just pois não. Pois não? Very common as well for a sales assistant to ask when you show your bank card, to ask you if you want it to be debited from your account or if you wanted to pay it as a credit, as in at the end of the month. Bank cards in Brazil, normally they are two in one. They can either be used as debit card or credit card. So that's why sales assistant will ask you which way you want to use that card. If you're traveling to Brazil, you only have your credit card. Here in England, and I believe in most countries, you have two different cards. You've got debit and credit card. You're going to take your credit card with you, and then you can just say crédito. So the question you're going to hear a lot there in shops is débito ou crédito? And you can just say crédito. And we've come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If there are any words or phrases that you want to know the equivalent in Portuguese, phrases that are related to shopping, let me know as well, and I'll tell you what they are in the comments. Muito obrigado. Até a próxima.